Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video for you. Here's a video all about stacking up certain collectibles in the app right now. I got some really good picks for you, and also some of my mentality and my strategy about why I would stack certain items over other items, not just for overall like value as well, but there's future stuff coming that could make some of these pretty important, and it's kind of a way of thinking if you're moving forward, thinking long term with some of the collectibles that we have in the app. And I'm not talking about comics here, I'm talking about just collectibles, right? So anyway, if you like the video after you see it, hit like, that would be great. You can also subscribe to my channel or join as a member. That would be awesome. Either one's great. If you join as a member, you do get a drop head NFT, and that's really fun. We have like well over 300 members now. It's really great. We're having tons of fun. And you can also follow me on Twitter or Instagram. The links are in the description of this video and of all my videos. So I will try my best to follow you back, and we can keep talking there for sure, right? So let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments section. I'm laying out some collectibles that I think are really cool, really important, and could have some really great future, like importance, right? And value, right? So let's get into it a little bit, right? So why stack? And this is a question that I wanted to put out there, right? So when I stack comic books, it's for different reasons. I'm thinking about pure value, and I'm thinking about like the actual item itself, and like master collector points and all sorts of stuff when I stack comics. But when I stack collectibles, I have a slightly different mentality that I do, in a slightly different way of thinking, right? And I think you really do need to do that for some of them, right? There's new users that are going to be coming, and so I like to think about what they're going to want to have or get their hands on or maybe need, right? There's MCP program, the Master Collector program, so there's a bit of that going on here as well, and that comes in regards to sets, okay? So collectible sets. So this is in my mind as well when I'm thinking about this video, when I'm putting this together for you, so I'm gonna have some good examples there. And then also first appearances, I think, are obviously pretty important for sure. On the blockchain, these are NFTs and characters that we've never seen before, and some of them are really famous and popular, so those are good ones to stack. So look for the items that people will want / need. This is sort of how I think about when I think about collectibles, as opposed to just stacking up hordes of like comic books for all sorts of other reasons, right? Anyway, let's get into it right here. So here's one that I wanted to start off with and talk about. And now this is the stamp right here, the baseball stamp. Now, this is one that I wanted to talk about, this particular one for stacking, okay? So this is a one collectible set, and this is very important, I think, for the future. Now, right now, people aren't really talking about this or looking at this because the Master Collector program, that's kind of off in the future somewhere. We don't know when we're going to get it, but I think it's going to be coming a lot sooner than people think. And this is the kind of thing that people are going to want and need in the future. Now, this is a one item set, okay? So you get extra points for sets and stuff like that. It's a really cool collectible as well, but aside from that, it's got a lot of power for Master Collector, and you can pick these up right now for about 29 to 30 gems. They always seem to be around that level, but this is stuff that people are going to want. This is Master Collector food, right? So if you have a bunch of these, just think about this, and they put a lot more importance on sets. People are going to go wanting to look for the one item sets, the really easy ones to compete, and you could have a horde of them and just sell them off to everybody as the price goes up, right? So this is one thing that I'm thinking about stacking up quite a bit of. Maybe, 10, 20, or 30, I don't know, something like that once I get my comic books in place, which I'm really focused on those right now. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. And there are other one collectible sets in the app, like the Kit Car and Captain Carter and other ones like that. But, they're a little bit higher in price. So this is kind of one that I'm talking about. But I will show you the Kit Car a little bit later in the video, so stick around for that, right? So that's one way to go. Now, another way to go for collecting, of course, is a character like Vader, which is like a grail first appearance. At this point, he's still really cheap compared to where he could be. Now, if you look at Spider-Man's FA as a common, you can see the price that he could get to and will get to, because he has way less editions. So if you do have the gems and you have the ability to stack at this level, because he goes for about 150 or so, if you stack up a bunch of them, maybe 5 to 10 of them, I think you're going to be doing really well in the long run on characters like this. And if we get new characters that come out that are like really big like this, it's important to stack them up too, because even right now he's been around 150 to 130 to 150 to 110 10, all around that range, you know, and you can wait and you can pick him up a few more copies. So if you can get to this level, you're going to be laughing in like 6 months from now when he's 300 or something like that, because I think that that is no problem at all. It's Vader, it's an FA. So that's another way to do it, of stacking, is just pure on pure, like powerful collectibles that are, you know, the FAs of like a major character. If you can stack at this level, that would be amazing as well, right? He's never really dipped that much further than under 100, only under 100 maybe just briefly. And if you watch my video from a couple days ago where I broke down all the Darth Vader numbers, you will actually see what he did all through June, and you can see, like, you know, how steady this is, right? And it's only going to go up from here. So that's another way you can do it. So here's another one that kind of leads into that too. Now this Loki just came out a few days ago, and he's really great because this is an FA and there's just one of them, and he's a Marvel Mighty, and I'm going to talk about the Marvel Mighties in more detail just in a minute, so just stay tuned. But he goes for about 20 gems, and there's only like 8,000 of him, right? So this is another type of thing where you could go after new popular characters and you stack them up early, and then you can sell them later when they double in price and keep some of the best mints for yourself. This is sort of the way that it's going to be, because as new users, remember I said at the beginning of the video, new users come to the app, they're going to want to look at some of these popular characters, and Loki's one of those, right? And so, you know, they might want to grab one, and why not grab one from you for double the price that you paid? That's sort of the idea of stacking, right? You pick them up when they're like cheap, and then you know, can sell them back later, and you can make some gems there, and then you can go after bigger stuff. It's a nice flipping strategy, right? But of course, Loki is fantastic. People love him, and his season 2 is going to be coming, you know, the second Loki, like the whole season. It's going to be great. People are going to love that too, and there's lots more of Loki coming in the future. So it's an easy one, right? That's the mentality with new popular characters, and the same exact thing happens with Thor. Now, this particular one, Thor's FA on the common, has way more additions than the Loki. It's got 14,000. This has got, you know, this has got 14,000. Loki's got about 8. So he's not maybe going to get as much value, but he might, because he's got a better looking collectible. But you can go the uncommon, or you can go the rare. I mean, those are great stackables as well. I mean, he runs you at about 18 gems for Thor's FA. So this is another thing. You got to think down the road. If you stack up a bunch of Thors right now, for example, you could potentially sell them back to people for double, like 36 gems. I mean, even if it goes from 18 to 36, that's 100% gain on that, right? Right? That's like, you know, a double, right? So I think that's no problem at all for the future, because people are going to want a Thor FA as much as they want a Spider-Man FA, or as much as they want, like, you know, a Vader FA. I mean, those are bigger, like, collectibles in regards to the name, but not really. Thor is like really famous, right? So these are ways you can stack right now while the price is cheap, right? So just think about that. Anyway, going on to my next one. Now, this is interesting as well. The lightsabers, okay? Now, the lightsabers here, now this is what I think is going to happen. Now, this is pure speculation. This is just my opinion, but I really, truly believe that when we get characters like Kylo Ren to the app, he's not going to have his lightsaber. I think we're going to have to get his lightsaber, and then we'll be able to put it with him. They'll probably have his hand open so you can like slide it in there in your vault. So people are going to want the lightsabers as soon as the character comes. So when Yoda comes, for example, you know, I don't think they're going to give him a lightsaber like Vader, like, you know, I don't think we're going to get Vader's saber either. We're just, you know, Vader has his saber, but I think the Star Wars characters that come to the app are going to actually, you know, not have their saber. So that's why we're having saber collections put in. I think this is a no-brainer. And, you know, this is pure speculation by me, so I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is what I think is going to happen. So when those characters come, people are going to want to match up their lightsabers. So if you stacked up a bunch of lightsabers right now, that could potentially be a really, really smart thing to do. So that's something that I'm going to be doing. I did stack them up early at the beginning, and then I've actually sold them all because I was going for comics, but I always knew in the back of my mind that I'm going to be going back and picking some more up. I don't have any at the moment, so, you know, like, I will be getting them though. I will be getting a few of each for sure, because the price is still pretty good. I mean, they go from 23 to 50 gems, you know, and then of course there's the secret rare with Ahsoka, right? So that's another level. But Mace Windu, he's around 50 or something like that. So, you know, these are really attainable still, right? So anyway, let's go on to the next one right here. Now, this is another great one, the T-Rex, okay? So this is great. Now, the reason I picked this particular one, and this is for actually just display purposes and for the metaverse. So if you have a bunch of giant dinosaurs, I mean, that's going to be really cool. And you could pick this one up for like 10 to 11 gems right now. This is the common. You can go to the next phase, to the next, you know, poses and stuff too. But these are great display items, like in a metaverse situation or in a vault. And if, you know, at this particular price, you could stack up a ton of them, and people are always going to want like the T-Rex, right? So it's really thinking like way down the road, but this is the opportunity you could have. If you have an extra like 100 gems or something like that, you get 10 of them, no problem at all. Just leave them over on the side and forget about them. And then you have great display items for the future, because people might want to buy these later. This is another way of thinking, is way down the road for display purposes, like for literally for like decoration, fun, and display. Because this one, the common stuff, they're not animated or anything. The collectible one, the ultra rare, that's like the collectible one. These are more like for fun. Everyone's going to want a dinosaur in their giant vault or on their plot of land or whatever, right? So this is way down the road. But if you know what I'm saying, right? Anyway, let's go on to the next one right here. So also this applies to, these vehicles apply to kind of like that future sort of state that we could have where we're having like, more interactiveness, like in a metaverse situation, or, where you have land. If you have drivable vehicles in this app, I think that's really amazing. You could stack them up and people are going to want those. And this one in particular, I pointed out because the kit car is a one set collectible and it's really dropped down in price. It's about 65 gems right now. So that's still pretty good. You could stack up like maybe even 5, 6, 7 of these and just have them there, and then you can sell them later. And in the meantime, you can play with them, right? And it gives you Master Collector, that one set. So this is a really good one. But you can go with the Ecto, car, the Ghostbuster car. You can go the Back to the Future car. You can do other ones. You can do the motorbike. If you can get to the Aston Martin and stack that one up, then you're really doing well. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about, right? That's future drivable vehicles. Now, the last one I'm going to point out, it's just the Marvel Mighties in general. Like, they have so many first appearances in there, which are really cool. They're starting to pick up steam, if you've noticed. People really like them. They're really cool. The prices on them are great, and you can stack up a lot of FAs right now, and it's a really nice collection. In fact, you can go for basically like just being a Marvel Mighty collector, and you would be doing great because there's tons of really great characters in there, and people are going to want them. Now, there's one thing about these that, people are talking about. There's always rumors about it for gamification purposes. So if they do that with these in the future, where you're able to actually use them in some sort of gamification scenario or play them or whatever, then people are going to die for these. And if you could get them now at like crazy cheap prices and stack up a bunch, you're probably going to have to wait a long time. But at the same time, this could be a great opportunity. So that's why I put them there, right? Anyway, so those are my criteria sort of for stacking collectibles. Let me know what you think about my selection right here. And if I've missed any, I'll see you in the next video, and happy collecting.